The first time I ever heard myself on the radio was in like 1979, and I played in a band called Anthem.
I was in Detroit, Michigan, where I grew up, and I was in a band called Toby Red with 2 Ds. And we were kind of a modern rock band back in the late 80s.
I remember so well, we all gathered around, like drinking beers and stuff and waiting for it. And we knew we were going to come on the radio like within this 3-hour time period. We were so psyched. And our song came on the radio. We were just like, couldn't believe it. And the song was called Clocks. And the guy said, and here's a band called Anthem with a neat little ditty called Clocks. And it came on and we were just like, it was like this funny like little new wave song. And that was it. And that was, you know, it was really exciting.
It was pretty exciting. I remember we did an interview with the station late at night, and then I drove home and I remember sitting in my driveway listening to the radio station and hearing our interview. It was obviously taped, and waiting for them, and they talked to us, and a new band, we got a record deal, and da-da-da-da-da, and there's their new song, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. They cranked it up, and I was like by myself in the parking lot, or in the driveway of my house at like midnight, you know, listening to our song, and yeah, pretty exciting to think that you could even be on a station that played all of what I thought like are my favorite bands and heroes, and I didn't feel worthy, you know.
It's funny because I always think of that, like, you know, we just put out our single for this record this last week, the song Dark Necessities, and I always have that feeling, like, because I knew the song was coming out last Wednesday at 7 a.m. I was up at 6:30, lying in bed, put on my phone, like put on the radio, and I was like, I wonder if they're gonna play it right when it comes out. And sure enough, at 7 a.m., bam, there was a song. Like, you know, music is such an interior thing, you know? Like, you know, you sit by yourself in a room at the piano with your bass, whatever, you write music, you get together with your friends and you kind of circle the wagons and hole up in a little room and write and create and try to bring it together and write good songs. And then you get in the studio and, you know, once again, circle the wagons, make it a little bigger circle to bring in a producer and all this shit and get into it and start, and you make this thing and it's all so personal, you know? And all of a sudden, once it's all done, bam, it's out in the world and it becomes there for everybody, and it's a really wild feeling, you know? It's like this thing was so personal, interior, becoming for everybody, and people are gonna like it or not like it, or, you know, yell at you or like you or love you or whatever, hug you or tell you to, you know, get lost. So it's a crazy experience. But every time, like, I'm so excited to hear it on the radio, and I still get the same feeling, man. I'm 53 years old. I'm still just like, you know, we're on the radio. I'm like, my daughter's running around. I'm like, Sonny, get in here. My 10-year-old daughter, yeah, we're on the radio. She's like, which one, Papa? Which one? You know, and we're dancing around the kitchen, hearing it and stuff, you know, making oatmeal. So it's, you know, it's exciting.
Yeah, that feeling never really goes away, at least for me. You're like a little kid. It's like Christmas. Oh, my God.
The score of a playoff game.
Whoever was singing, what's that song from Frozen?
Oh, yes.
That one, the Frozen song. I think Hamilton is the new Frozen for adults. Well, The Getaway obviously means this title of our new record.
The Getaway means something entirely intangible to me, but the things that it makes me think about is I think about the band as always has been a real sanctuary for me in the chaos of the world and growing up as a street kid kind of and stuff, and being able to bond with my friends and have a place where I feel safe to be myself, even though we get mad at each other and hurt each other's feelings. It's a real family and a brotherhood, and the band has always been a place for me to get away to. You know, not running away from ourselves, but changing and growing and learning and becoming kinder, stronger, more beautiful people.
You know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now with refugees and a lot of people that are struggling, and yeah, that when I think of it right now, that's what I think of. That's a sad part of it.
The first title that we all agreed on. I don't know. You know, I suppose it means that, you know, a kind of a getaway from norms or practices that the band is used to, the way the record was made, the way some of the songs were written, the person that produced the album.
I'm excited that on the album, which is a relatively short album for us, we tried to cut it down as we cut off songs we really loved, but it's 13 songs long, and every song on the record really occupies its own emotional space.
Yeah, The Getaway's coming out and Dark Necessities being our first single. That I'm really happy with that song. I think it has a lot of elements of the Chili Peppers, but also is real different and has some growth and change in it. So I think it's a really good example of where we're at now as a band.
There's a song called The Hunter, which I think is a beautiful song, sort of different to anything the band's done before.
Dreams of a Samurai, which is the last song on our record, which if it was up to me, I wouldn't have put it last. But see, when you're in a band, there's a democratic situation, and everybody has their vote. And I always don't want it to get lost because I think it's really very cool song for us.
Yeah, nor did I.
Again, different, a lot of growth.
Yeah, that's surely an interesting song with choir and some strings maybe.
I think we played the song maybe twice, so it's caught a real good, spontaneous, creative moment for us.
I don't really have favorites. I just kind of love the creative process as a time capsule of where we've been during this portion of our lives,
I don't know who came up with the title. It might have been Anthony, it might have been our singer, I'm not sure.
Our new song, Dark Necessities, is about a group of unemployed astronauts sitting around a Ralph's parking lot trying to eat ice cream through their astronautical helmets and not having great success.
Apparently a single.
I think that was Flea's idea. A cassette, and then you get some of his toenails that he probably clipped from last week, and a couple strands of Anthony's pubic hair, and one of Josh's old tennis shoes. Nothing from me.